Everyone says renting is throwing money away. I believed that for years. Then I ran the actual numbers, and I found out that buying a house can cost you more than renting the exact same property. Not always, but more often than the home ownership is the American dream crowd wants to admit. I was ready to buy. I had a number in my head, $400,000. I had saved up 80 grand for a down payment. I felt responsible. I felt like an adult doing the right thing. And then I asked myself one honest question. What does this actually cost me over 10 years? So I sat down, opened a spreadsheet, and stopped feeling so responsible. Let's start with the mortgage. $400,000 home. 20% down, that's $80,000 gone on day one. You're borrowing $320,000. At a 7% fixed rate over 30 years, your monthly payment is about $2,130. That's just the loan. Now, add property tax. The national average is roughly 1.2% of the home's value per year. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,800 a year, $400 a month, just in taxes. Add homeowner's insurance, about $150 a month on average. Now add maintenance. The rule of thumb most financial planners use is 1% of the home's value per year. That's $4,000 a year, $333 a month. Water heater breaks. Roof needs patching. HVAC dies in August. It adds up. Add it all together. Your true monthly cost of owning this home, roughly $3,010 for 10 years. Now let's look at renting. A home that costs $400,000 to buy might rent for around $2,200 a month in most U.S. markets. Over 10 years, with roughly 3% annual rent increases, you'll pay somewhere around $307,000 in total rent. The homeowner, over that same period, pays roughly $362,000 in mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, and maintenance, plus the $80,000 they handed over up front. But wait, the homeowner is building equity, right? Yes. Let's look at that honestly. After 10 years on a 30-year mortgage at 7%, you've paid down the principal by about $46,000. And if the home appreciated at 3% per year, roughly the long-term historical average, your $400,000 house is now worth about $537,000. That's a paper gain of $137,000, minus selling costs, agent commissions, closing costs, title fees. Figure about 6% of the sale price. That's roughly $32,000 gone the moment you put up the for sale sign. Your actual usable equity after 10 years, about $231,000. That's the number most people get wrong. Now here's the part almost nobody includes in this conversation. You put $80,000 into a down payment on day one. If you had instead invested that $80,000 in a basic index fund, at the historical average return of 7% per year, after 10 years, you'd have approximately $157,000. That's $77,000 in gains you walked away from. That's called opportunity cost. It doesn't show up on your mortgage statement. Nobody brings it up at open houses, but it's real money that you chose not to have. There's one more thing, and this one really got me. In the first year of your mortgage, almost nothing goes toward actually owning your house. Month 1. Your payment is $2,130. Of that, $1,867 goes straight to interest. Only $263 goes toward reducing your loan balance. People love to call rent throwing money away. You know what that $1,867 is? Also throwing money away. Just with more paperwork and a better reputation. This wasn't designed for you to win in year 1. It was designed to collect interest for 30 years. Okay? Let's bring all of this together into actual numbers. After 10 years as a homeowner, you paid about $362,000 in ongoing costs. You put $80,000 down up front. You gave up approximately $77,000 in investment opportunity. Total real cost, roughly $519,000 out of your life. In exchange, you gained about $231,000 in real usable equity. Net cost of owning for 10 years, approximately $288,000. After 10 years as a renter who actually invests the difference, you paid about $307,000 in rent. You invested the $80,000 down payment and earned about $77,000 on it. You also invested the monthly savings, roughly $800 a month, into a basic index fund. At 7% annual return, that's about $140,000 total in your account. But 97,000 of that is your own money, your actual investment gains, about $43,000. Net cost of renting for 10 years after accounting for those investment returns, approximately $182,000. In this specific scenario, renting wins, but not by the landslide most people claim. The difference is about $106,000 over 10 years, roughly $880 a month in your favor. That's meaningful, but it's not the $276,000 gap you'll see in viral videos. And here's where I need to be straight with you. This math changes dramatically depending on where you live, how long you stay, and what actually happens to home prices in your specific market. In some cities, parts of California, Miami, Austin in the early 2010s, appreciation was aggressive enough that buying demolished renting. In slower, more stable markets, the renting math holds up for years. There is no universal answer. Anyone telling you there is selling something. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, run your own numbers before you sign anything. The New York Times has a free rent versus buy calculator that factors in your local market, your expected stay, your tax situation. Use it. It takes about 5 minutes and it will tell you more than any real estate agent will. Second, figure out how long you're actually planning to stay. The break-even point, the moment when buying starts to beat renting financially, is typically between 5 and 8 years, depending on your market and your mortgage rate. If there's a real chance you're moving in 3 years, renting almost always wins the math. Third, be honest about what you'd actually do with the down payment alternative. The renting strategy only works if you invest the difference. If you rent and spend the $80,000 on a truck and vacations, you're not renting versus buying anymore, you're just renting and spending. That's a different conversation. Fourth, separate the financial decision from the emotional one. Wanting stability, wanting to stop answering to a landlord, wanting to paint your walls whatever color you want, those are real reasons to buy, but they're lifestyle reasons, not financial arguments. Knowing which one you're actually making will save you a lot of confusion later. Buying a home can be a good financial decision. Renting can also be a good financial decision. The only consistently bad decision is the one made because someone told you what to do, and you never bothered to check whether that was actually true. That phrase has cost people more than a few rent checks. Run your numbers first, then decide. I'm Paper Profit. See you next time.